IELTS Speaking Part 2 Topic. Describe a time when you were unable to purchase something you wanted. What was the item or service? Why didn't have enough money to buy that? How did you manage the situation? How did this experience make you feel at that moment?
Last summer, I encountered a situation where I longed to purchase a high-end digital camera, a coveted piece of equipment I had been saving up for several months. This camera, renowned for its exceptional image quality and versatility, had been on my wish list for a considerable time due to my burgeoning interest in photography. However, when I finally visited the electronics store to buy it, I was taken aback by its steep price tag, which exceeded my budget by a substantial margin. Despite diligently saving, the accumulated funds fell short, leaving me disheartened and uncertain about my next steps. Faced with this unexpected shortfall, I deliberated over various options to resolve the dilemma. Rather than succumbing to disappointment, I decided to explore alternative ways to acquire the camera. Firstly, I researched ongoing promotions and discounts, hoping to find a feasible price reduction. Secondly, I considered delaying the purchase to save more diligently in the coming months. This experience evoked a blend of emotions within me. Initial disappointment gave way to a determination to overcome the financial setback. While I felt momentarily crestfallen at not being able to purchase the camera outright, the challenge spurred me to adopt a more strategic approach towards achieving my goal. Ultimately, this incident taught me the importance of prudent financial planning and resilience in the face of setbacks. It reinforced my belief in the value of patience and perseverance when striving towards significant aspirations. Despite not immediately acquiring the desired camera, the experience enriched my understanding of fiscal responsibility and the gratification that comes from achieving one's goals through steadfast determination.
IELTS Speaking Part 2 Topic. Describe a time when you had to manage a tight budget or financial resources. When did you have to manage a tight budget and what was the context? What were the specific financial constraints or limitations you faced? How did you prioritize and allocate the available resources? What was the result of your budget management efforts?
During my college years, I encountered a significant financial challenge when I decided to embark on a study abroad program. It was an opportunity of a lifetime, but the costs associated with studying in a foreign country were undeniably high. Nevertheless, I was determined to make it happen, so I had to muster all my budgeting skills and financial acumen to manage this tight situation. The specific financial constraints I faced were primarily rooted in the fact that my savings were limited, and I had to rely on a modest scholarship to cover a fraction of the expenses. Additionally, the cost of living in the host country was substantially higher than what I was accustomed to back home. Accommodation, tuition fees, and everyday expenses posed a formidable challenge, and it became evident that every penny counted. To make the most out of my limited financial resources, I adopted a meticulous approach to budget management. First and foremost, I tightened my belt, cutting back on non-essential expenses. I learned to cook my meals instead of dining out, and I became adept at finding pennies from heaven through discounts and student deals. The scholarship amount was reserved solely for tuition fees, and I worked part-time to cover my accommodation and living expenses. I also sought additional financial aid opportunities and applied for grants to ease the burden. Managing a tight budget was undoubtedly challenging, but it taught me invaluable life skills. I became incredibly resourceful, making every dollar stretch to its limit. By pinching pennies, I could travel within the country and explore its culture without straining my budget. It was a humbling experience, as I learned to distinguish between my needs and wants, cultivating a sense of financial prudence. Moreover, the whole endeavor also imbued me with a sense of financial discipline, which would stay with me for the rest of my life. In the end, my budget management efforts bore fruit. I successfully completed my study abroad program without accumulating any debts. Furthermore, I was able to strike a balance between academics and exploration, making the most of my time in a foreign country. While the financial challenges were tough, they proved to be a blessing in disguise as they empowered me with essential life skills and taught me to appreciate the value of money. In conclusion, managing a tight budget during my study abroad program was a daunting task, but it was a journey that helped me grow as an individual. Through thick and thin, I learned to navigate financial hardships and emerged triumphant. This experience has left an indelible mark on my life, shaping me into a more responsible and fiscally savvy individual. It has instilled in me the belief that one can thrive even in the face of financial constraints, as long as one possesses determination, perseverance, and a nose for business.
IELTS Speaking Part 2 Topic. Describe a time when you had to make an important financial decision. What was the financial decision and when did you make it? What factors or considerations did you take into account? How did you gather information or seek advice to make an informed decision? What were the consequences or outcomes of the decision?
In the annals of my financial journey, there lies a pivotal moment when I was confronted with a monumental decision, a crossroads that demanded a judicious blend of acumen and foresight. The occasion was about a year ago when I stood on the precipice of investing a substantial sum in the capricious realm of the stock market. The impetus for this financial decision was rooted in my desire to diversify my investment portfolio. The traditional avenues seemed somewhat stagnant, and I was yearning for a more dynamic arena that could potentially yield robust returns. The stock market's allure was magnetic, promising the prospect of exponential growth, but it was juxtaposed with its inherent volatility. This is where the crux of my decision-making lay, balancing the allure of potential gains with the sobering specter of risks. Several crucial factors came into play as I navigated this labyrinthine decision-making process. The principle of due diligence was paramount. I meticulously researched the market trends, scrutinized the historical performance of various sectors, and analyzed the financial health of potential companies. My risk appetite became a touchstone. I pondered over whether I was willing to weather the storm of short-term fluctuations for the prospect of long-term prosperity. Additionally, I sought counsel from financial experts who were well-versed in the art of investment and understood the nuances of market dynamics. In my quest for informed decision-making, I perused financial publications, attended investment seminars, and engaged in discourse with seasoned investors. Their insights not only expanded my cognitive horizons, but also armed me with a more holistic perspective. Armed with knowledge and guided by wisdom, I took the leap into the world of stock trading. The outcome of this decision was a confluence of mixed fortunes. The market's mercurial nature meant that my investments experienced their share of tumultuous undulations. There were instances when I celebrated meteoric gains, akin to scaling the pinnacle of a financial summit. Yet, there were moments of despair as well, reminiscent of navigating a tempestuous sea. However, the net result, over the course of the year, was a commendable appreciation of my investment, outpacing the traditional vehicles I had previously ventured into. In conclusion, the decision to delve into the enigmatic expanse of the stock market was a watershed moment that encapsulated both the thrill of potential reward and the sobering reality of risk. The adage "fortune favors the bold" seemed apt in this context, but it was my diligence, circumspection, and willingness to seek counsel that paved the way for a prudent foray. This experience fortified my financial acumen, underscoring that while financial decisions can be fraught with complexities, strategic approaches can mitigate risks and yield gratifying outcomes.
IELTS Speaking Part 2 Topic. Describe a time when you had to make a difficult financial decision. What was the decision you had to make? What factors or considerations did you take into account? How did you weigh the pros and cons of the decision? What was the outcome of your financial decision?
One of the most challenging financial decisions I had to make was whether to pursue a master's degree abroad or stay in my home country and continue working. This decision was not taken lightly, as it encompassed significant financial implications and future career prospects. Firstly, the decision revolved around the substantial financial outlay required for tuition fees, living expenses, and other miscellaneous costs associated with studying overseas. I meticulously analyzed my savings, potential scholarships, and loan options. The opportunity cost was another critical factor, the salary and career progression I would forego during my time in academia. Several considerations weighed heavily on my mind. The quality of education and the global reputation of the university abroad were compelling reasons to pursue the degree. However, the economic uncertainty and potential for future debt added to my apprehension. Additionally, I evaluated the long-term benefits, such as better job prospects, higher earning potential, and the invaluable international exposure that could catapult my career to new heights. To weigh the pros and cons, I created a comprehensive list. On the pro side, I listed the enhanced educational experience, potential for significant career advancement, and personal growth opportunities. Conversely, the cons included the immediate financial burden, the risk of not securing a well-paying job post-graduation, and the possibility of feeling isolated in a foreign country. I also sought advice from trusted mentors, who provided diverse perspectives. One mentor, an alumni of the same foreign university, shared insights about the return on investment and the intangible benefits of such an experience. Another advisor cautioned about the debt trap and stressed the importance of fiscal prudence in uncertain economic climates. After weeks of deliberation, I decided to take the plunge and accept the offer from the prestigious university abroad. This decision was driven by the belief that the long-term benefits would outweigh the short-term financial strain. To mitigate the financial risk, I applied for and secured a partial scholarship and a low-interest student loan, which alleviated some of the financial pressure. The outcome of this decision has been profoundly positive. Not only did I acquire advanced knowledge and skills in my field, but the experience also expanded my professional network and opened doors to lucrative job opportunities. In hindsight, while the decision was fraught with risks, the calculated gamble paid off handsomely, leading to a significant boost in my career trajectory and financial stability. In conclusion, making a difficult financial decision requires careful consideration of both immediate and long-term implications. By meticulously analyzing the multifaceted aspects and seeking counsel, one can navigate through the complexities and emerge successful. Hope you liked our video. Please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel to keep us motivated.